Hello there, you, and welcome to the pox-infested planet of Korabash. As today, a Tau defensive line is going to be put to the true test. Will the endless poxwalker swarms be able to crush the Tau defensive lines? Or will the Tau be able to hold against all odds? But before we do kick off today's fight, I just want to say a massive shout out to all you channel members who helped keep this channel going. And if you're not a channel member, why the heck not? Click the join button down below. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out the amazing ChaoticPinky store. We got some really cool merch over there. With all that being said, get on with today's battle. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, 8 million poxwalkers here. Well, I put down 8 million. It's actually about 7.1 because some of the terrain despawned some of the units that I put down. But oh well, 7.1 million poxwalkers here, charging forth towards these Tau defensive lines. Now, the Tau have got a pretty solid setup here, ladies and gentlemen. Fire warriors littered all throughout the front, followed up by hammerhead tanks. The second wave over here, again, more fire warriors, supported by XV8 suits over here. Oh god, look at that massive swarm. And we've also got a flanking defense over here should any of the poxwalkers come around, accumulating in a last stand at the top of the hill. But let's go back down to the front line because already we're reaching the heights of 40,000 losses here for the poxwalker swarm. But that is not but a dent in it. It's barely even scratched the surface of what we're going to be experiencing here today. Look at this, just gigantic surge of bodies heading forward into the firepower here. Now, like I said, the Tau don't actually have any melee units here to hold the line for them at all. So they're just going to be entirely reliant on their firepower to keep the enemy at bay. And that is a difficult task, but they're actually doing it just a little bit here. You can see that the poxwalker swarms are struggling to get close, and the closer and closer that they get, the more accurate that Tau firepower becomes. The line is slowly spreading out here as millions make their way forward to this one position here. Now, before anyone says, I do know that the Tau really do not like last stands. It's not really in their doctrine. They're retreating cover fire. But sometimes you have to suspend your disbelief in the reality of a fantasy universe just to have a little bit of fun. And that's exactly what we're focusing on here today. That's a sentence I never thought I'd have to say. You have to suspend your disbelief of a fantasy universe. No, the reality of a fantasy universe. Yeah, that's it. Jeez, man, look at that. Oh, God, we're already at 200,000. The kill count is getting insane here. But look at that. It doesn't even look like we've put any sort of dent in it whatsoever. Just millions of units searching forward. Already, these gigantic lakes are starting to form underfoot here. I would imagine most of the lower half of these maps, because it's all probably going to end up flowing down there, let's face it. But yeah, I imagine that the lower half of their maps is just going to get absolutely flooded by the end of this. That is if we don't build a dam in front of the fire warriors here. This, though, looks like a very weak point of the line. Chaos here, exploiting it. You can see the Renegade melee versions of the Renegade gunners here, charging it bayonet first, trying to stab up some Tau blue boys. But they're actually struggling, even though they've got this little advantage here. You can see that XV8 suits firing down that pulse fire into the front lines as well as also helping out. This front line has become absolutely monstrous here. Look at this. The Nommers are just unable to close that gap at the moment. But it does look like with each one of them that is falling, they are claiming a millimetre of ground at a time. Pretty soon that they will be able to close that gap, especially if the corpses stop building up in front of the Tau here. It's going to stop the Tau getting a lot of collateral damage from the firepower. But things seem to be going well as we're reaching the heights of 440,000 kills. And given that the enemy has barely closed the gap to the front line here, That's a pretty tasty kill ratio. 6.7 million still to go, though. You can see Hammerheads are firing out as many railgun rounds as possible, just taking out vast swathes of troops like that. But we're going to need more. The box formation in the background also starting to provide a little bit of covering fire here. So you can see that we have got some pretty decent overlapping fields of fire. Oh my god, look at this. The Chaos have found another chink in the Tau defensive armor here. Scaling the side of a cliff face. We weren't expecting this. Luckily, we have got a defensible position here, holding the ground. But my god, that's a sneaky Chaos tactic. Oh Jesus, they're chewing their way through this flank now, though. The tower reaching almost 600,000 kills. But yes, the swarm has closed the gap. The trap is setting in. Sheer weight of numbers has carried them forward. It's only taken them 600,000 losses to close the gap. How many losses is it going to take them to clear out this front line, though? The tower really need to put the hurt in here while they can. Oh my god, look at these lakes that are starting to form underfoot. The Chaos are going to be careful that some of the troops don't end up drowning before they even get to that front. But no, the wall of undeath has approached here, exploiting any vulnerability that it can and the defense. And now we can see that for the first time, the line is really starting to stretch over here. Again, the box formation just behind these guys, providing some excellent covering fire. Down onto them front lines here. Jesus, look at that horde. Let's just go take a look at how big this horde is, realistically. I mean, yeah. That is absolutely insane. Like I said, there's 7.1 million here. I mean, we're so far away from the front lines. Like, the real lines, you can't even hear the battle that's going on. You can't even see the battle that's going on. There's just so many. Look at all this. Oh, my days. The Tower have definitely got the work cut out for him here, ladies and gentlemen. What the heck was that? Oh, my. That's pretty deep. That's got to be impassable, right? Oh yeah, that is pretty impassable. The zombies can no longer get through that portion of the line. But speaking of getting through portions of the line, they have broken the flank here, making a dash for the first row of Hammerhead tanks that they find. And they are starting to surround them. Looks like it's mainly Renegade Gunners that made its way through here at the moment. But yeah, this has enabled the rest of the front line here to start collapsing. We're barely 1 million Tau down, 1 million Poxwalkers down here. Is this going to be a disastrous defeat here for the Tau? This is probably why they don't do these kind of things. This is why the Tau don't do last stands. It's like, well, it's pointless, we're just going to get overwhelmed and killed. And that is exactly what's happening to the front lines now. But it has certainly cost the Poxwalkers to push this. Now, the other thing to notice is that as the Poxwalkers push further and further up the mountain here, the attack angles do get narrower and narrower. And these are the last groups here. These have got some insane overlapping firepower amongst them. You can see that we've got a gigantic horde making its way up here. And they have been piling up their bodies high to try and crack this flank here. But yeah, no success here. But they are making it way more accessible than it was before. Like I said, with them piling up bodies like this, what it actually does is it helps to protect some of the troops behind it. But yeah, I think on this side, they're going to need to pile them up pretty high for the elevation to not count for anything. Again, Chaos finding sneaky little pathways here to try and make their way through. Luckily, though, we have got a V formation here, holding that flank up for the rest of the group on this side. Let's go back down to our front lines, though, because it looks like the Fire Warriors have been completely overwhelmed now on the main front line. Yeah, it's only Hammerheads that remain now. The entire front line of Tau has collapsed here, ladies and gentlemen. You can see that the Poxwalkers are going ham for these Hammerheads. They want them dead. They've been causing them a little bit of pain on the field here. And I've got a feeling that them XV8 suits are next on the list, chopping through thousands and thousands of zombies at a time. Look at this. The flanking firepower, just cutting down vast swathes of the horde. Now, this is where the XV8 suits really shine in these kind of battles, to be honest. When you've got this kind of target-rich environment, there's absolutely no way you're going to miss. Every single one of them bullets is hitting a zombie somewhere in this line. You can see, though, they are taking down these Hammerhead tanks bit by bit. They are taking a little bit of a beating. Luckily, this has enabled the Tau to climb above 1 million kills to 10,000 losses. Is that like a 100-to-1 ratio here? That's not a bad ratio for the Tau to keep up, but they need to get better than that if they want to win this battle. They've only got 16,000 defenders left. The box formation, it's now under heavy assault here. Again, Chaos in its insidious ways, finding these little chinks in the armor to find their way around the Tau. The Tau never expected them to climb a sheer cliff face, but that is Chaos's way. They do not care about the insane losses that they will take by doing so, as long as it achieves victory. Now you can see the rest of the Chaos Horde over here, trying to focus on these XV8 suits, and they're having none of it. Point blank, burst fire, pulse cannons here. Look at that, oh my days. Again, it feels like we've barely put a dent in it, and realistically, that's because we haven't. We've only killed 1 million. We've barely killed 1/6 of the army. But I'm actually pretty pleased with this front line that the Tau are holding at the moment. They've done a pretty good job of keeping the enemy at bay over here, whittling down the numbers, not allowing them to get any meaningful concentration of troops towards that front. But this is one of the thicker wedges of troops that we do have on the front, and it looks like a lot of them are getting funneled into this area in particular. But as the bodies start to build up here, this will become a more pathable area. It's just going to make it easier for the Poxwalkers. Look at these guys coming through the forest as well. We've been piling these guys up pretty nicely. Again, that flying V formation in the background, holding firm. So here we go. Hopefully now the Tau are able to concentrate a little bit of firepower onto the fronts. The XV8s are taking a hell of a pounding though, man. Look at this. There's swarms all over them. That firepower, best pick up from the Tau lines again. I think it's this overarching flanking maneuver. Somehow the Chaos here are just able to find these narrow little pathways that are risky. Like, the Fire Warriors wouldn't consider these as pathways. But to a Chaos warped mind, it's a pathway, you know what I mean? Yeah, we'll scale up the cliff face. I don't mind falling to my death in the name of this weird little god. I'm glad we've got these XV8 suits at the front, though. They're tanking a lot of damage at the moment, allowing them Fire Warriors to lay down that firepower. But I'm a little bit worried, though. We're starting to run out of troops here. I truly hope that the overlapping fields of firepower that we have coming from here are plentiful, because at least as the Poxwalkers start to make their way up here, the group at the back should activate and start shooting too. But yeah, look at this. They're actually really struggling to break through this formation here. Taking stupendous losses. We're up to 1.2 million now, rapidly approaching 1.3. With just under 6 million left on the field here. Let's go over to the side very quickly. Because yeah, look at that now. The Chaos are completely exposing that flank. Let's have a look at the reinforcements that are coming in for the Chaos as well. Yes, they've still... Oh my god, they've got so many troops that they can't even get them off the plateau. Right, okay, the Tau may be in for what a hell of a slobber knocker here, ladies and gentlemen. I thought they'd do a little bit better than they're doing at the moment, but again, we'll see how it comes when we come to that last stand formation at the very back. I'm putting all my bets on that at the moment. The XV8 suits are starting to crumble here by being swarmed too much. They're taking a hell of a lot with them, though, I've got to say that. You can see there that the firepower, when they're point blank like this, the firepower is nowhere near as effective at all. Oh, unless it does things like that. But yeah, it's just because the first body that they hit basically absorbs a lot of the bodies, a lot of the bullets. So even as the first corpse is dying, it's absorbing some of the bullets, which means that they're nowhere near as effective. But what they are doing is being a really good distraction units at the moment, because they're essentially holding up this entire horde. But the zombie flanking maneuver here coming in. The Poxwalkers closing their grasp here. The Renegade Gunners helping them to chew their way through the front. Is that box formation gone now? Yeah, so we've basically lost the entire side of that hill. We're holding firm on this side, which is nice, despite this weird little flanking maneuver that the Chaos are able to do. It's only going to get worse, though, I imagine, as this group over here falls. But they are trying to put that hurt in at the moment, doing as best as they can here to keep the enemy at bay. You can see that we've still got railgun rounds pumping down from above. Again, them tanks on the plateau up the top there got a real good elevation. Real good field of view. There we go. That's a nice XV8 suit there then. That's the ones in the background. Finally starting to add some firepower. That's nice. That's exactly what we want. Come on, a couple of more zombies get a little bit too close. Again, none of them bullets are missing coming out of them XV8s up there. Just too much of a target-rich environment. You can see though that this horde is making its way around here now. One thing I will say, this left stand area here, the only way up into it is through this area. That's one thing I did check. So the Tau have got a pretty solid area in which to commit their last stand here. Again, these guys doing an excellent job of holding back the enemy. We've got two XV8 suits here that are distracting so many of the Poxwalkers. These guys have done a bang-up job, but the rest of the horde is starting to make their way to the top of the hill now, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there we go. The XV8s have finally fallen. Let's get that insane surge now. Here it is. The surge of zombies going forward, trying to find their next set of victims. And the fire warriors here, they don't want to oblige. They don't want to be victims. They're going to lay down some heavy covering fire into this flank now to try and hold it back as best as they can for the boys in blue on this side, who've been doing an excellent job of holding their own on this side of the field. You can see that a couple of the AI are bugging out just a little bit. But realistically, it's not insane amounts of them. I don't think it's going to make too much difference ultimately here for the Tau. But what are we at now? 1.4 million, ladies and gentlemen. But this, I think, is going to be the hardest part of the field for the Poxwalkers to take. And you can already see, like, they're being funneled into a much narrower area over here. We've got lots of overlapping fields of fire. So yeah, I really think this part in particular is going to be extremely hard for the Poxwalkers to push. Now, one thing that they have been doing very slowly is building up the corpse piles on this side, which is allowing more and more of them to actually start pathing up the side of the cliff face on this side. That's really bad for the Tau. It does mean, though, that the Tau have been putting in a lot of work here, killing a lot of the enemies. I mean, just look at this. Absolute sheer insanity here on the front line. Speaking of the front line, oh, look at this. You can see all the crazy divots and corpse piles here from where the defense was made. That's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, look at this now. They're all getting funneled into this one area, and they really are actually struggling to push this once again. It's almost like a repeat of the opening salvos of the fight here. And it seems like the kill count has actually increased just a little bit. But yeah, that's a lot of nomads that we've got coming into this area. And again, there's so many are trying to push in through this side as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to try and find a nice little area here where we can get a bit of a time-lapse camera. I want to watch these bodies actually build up on this front line. There's too many trees in the way, though. Where can we go? Yeah, way too many trees in the way at the moment. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be almost impossible to see. Can we get one from this side? Come on, there's got to be an angle where we can sort of see what's going on. Yeah, but we can't really see what the Tau are doing. Oh, actually, maybe here. Yes, we should be able to see the bodies building up from here. We can sort of see that line, not too well. But yeah, we can see if they actually start breaking through this flank just a little bit. Now, let's keep it down. There we go. I think that might be the one. Yeah, there. Right, let's hit a little time-lapse camera and watch all these bodies build up rather nicely. We'll be back in a second. Oh my, ladies and gentlemen, that was absolutely insane. Look at how much these bodies have built up over here. Now that took way longer than I actually expected it was. I've been sat here for about 30 minutes watching these corpses slowly pile up. I mean, look at these over this side. We've made some true mountains here. I did say that the overlapping firepower of these defenses here would be quite a thing for the zombies to overcome. But my gosh, they lost, what, like around about 2 million trying to push this one area alone against a couple of thousand of the Fire Warriors. And now they're trying to surge up this narrow little pathway. We have got a couple of XV8 suits at the front line, tanking all of the damage at the moment. Behind them, though, you can see the Hammerheads still pumping out that firepower, as well as the Fire Warriors themselves. But yes, this has been a glorious fight over here. Now, look at this, though. I would like to say we have put a sizable dent in the zombie force now before it extended all the way back over to the far reaches of the map. And look, there's so many different pathways that they can actually get around on this map. It's just a shame that they're all so narrow. I mean, look at all these still trying to come from this side. This army over this side is still on trickling through. But yeah, what the heck? We've still got lots of reinforcements stuck at the back over here, or is this the last of them? Oh, that looks like it's the last of them, okay. Jeez. Look at this. This is absolutely insane. There's so many making their way up to that top of the hill there. Actually, that's the thing. I want to go check. I want to go check down the bottom in a bit to see if any of it cooled up down there, because I've got to imagine quite a bit has been spilt by now. And it's all rolling down the hill. I mean, we have got to overcome these little defilades that we made and stuff like that. But let's go have a check down here. Oh my. Yes, there is. Actually, not that much. I was expecting way more than this to be down here. I guess it's just struggled to trickle its way all the way down. But ladies and gentlemen, the last stand is enabled here. The town. I don't know if they're going to do this, to be honest. I mean, there's no ifs or buts, let's face it. There's 3.7 million enemies remaining on the field here against 2,000. Yeah, even with the Hammerheads and even with the XV8 suits here tanking so much of the damage, it's definitely going to be difficult for the town to hold out against this one. I mean, quite frankly, good luck to them. But again, this I-core is going to be going somewhere. I'm hoping that it hasn't all drained off the side of the map down there. That'd really suck if that's what's happened. But yeah, I was expecting loads more to be down there. Let's just quickly go check down the bottom ends here. So we have got these little puddles starting to appear down here, okay. So there is some of it that is getting stuck down here. Oh my god, look at that. An avalanche of corpses falling down the side here. Where are they all piling up? Are they? Yeah, they're literally just all landing over here. Little by little then, this is going to create a new pathway, I think. Oh my god, look at that. That's insane. There's so many bodies actually falling down from this point. I'm actually kind of surprised at how effective the tower defense has been for this one little area. I mean, just look at how many are pouring down there. Hundreds and hundreds at any one point. It's like an insane conveyor belt of death. Is it happening on this side? It is, but nowhere near like it is on the other side. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still piling up, but yeah, that's really cool. I love that effect. I'd love to have that as like a wallpaper. Just, you know, that'd look really cool as a little wallpaper. Sat here, the corpses slowly running down the side of the mountain like a gentle waterfall. The sound of zombies eating brains in the background. The screams of hopeless Tau as they get ripped apart. Oh man, these XV8 suits though, look at this. They're tanking so much damage at the moment. Kind of insane. Again, the Fire Warriors here trying to provide as much cover and fire as they can. Another situation where they cannot miss. And we really need them Hammerheads to be doing their work. And you can see that they are taking out like groups of troops over here. So the Hammerheads are still pounding the enemy here. But I've got to say, this tower line is holding out a lot better than I thought it would. I'm really interested to see what happens with these bodies on this side though. They're piling up so far. Like I said, what this is going to do is just going to make this side of the map a little bit more pathable for the enemy. But I am going to have to hit a little time-lapse camera here because this looks like it's going to take a little while for the enemy to grind out. We'll be back when the XV8 suits finally collapse. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and my oh my, this has been an absolute grind fest here for the Tau and the Poxwalkers alike. The bodies are still pouring down the side of the mountain here, but look at this. The XV8 suits are all but worn out. The Poxwalkers here are finally starting to close that gap towards the Fire Warrior front line. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are still struggling here, the Poxwalkers are. Again, look at this, we've actually put quite a dent into them here. I'm surprised that this last line has lasted, oh god, as long as it has. The poor fellow, he's sliding down, look at him go. Oh no, he's going down into the pits, the pit of abyss. All that we can see is his gigantic guns poking out of the mass. Where's he gonna park? He's trying to find a car parking spot, but he can't find one. Oh, he's gonna go down to the disabled bays down here, is he? He's gonna park right in front of the shop. Yeah, I don't know how he's defying gravity there. There we go, he's finally found a car parking spot and got out. Meanwhile, we've still got another XV8 suit on the front line, tanking a load of damage here for us. But I think the inevitability of fate is slowly starting to set in here for the Fire Warriors. They've been valiantly holding this top line here. For goodness, how long? What are we at now in the recording? 1 hour and 10 minutes. Oh my god, this has been a long fight. And there's still so many zombies left out here. 3.4 million of them. I mean, let's face it, killing 3.6 million with like 26,000 troops, that's a pretty good ratio. What the heck? How are these getting so injured up here? What the heck has been going on that these guys have got so injured? It looks like a couple of zombies seemingly made their way over here. Don't know how they've managed to do that. Is there like a sneaky way that they've been trying to get up? I wonder if a couple of them just glitched up, literally glitched up the side of the mountain here. Because yeah, look at this. There's a load of blood over here, so I'm wondering if a load of them just ended up glitching up the side. Oh man, this hole in the Fire Warrior line is slowly getting bigger and bigger here. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still making the enemy pay. But yeah, like I said, I think the inevitability has set in here now. Entropy has occurred. A slower degradation of the defensive line here against overwhelming odds. Now, we still do have the tanks on the top. They're still pumping out that firepower. Ah, no, look, this is what it was. So the zombies didn't glitch up the side. A couple of them have been going up this way, look, and outflanking it. That's probably what led them to be able to go over to this side. So yeah, I think that's definitely what it was then. We just must have built up enough corpses on this side to make that a passable way now. Because it was definitely not before. I'm amazed our XV8 suit's still holding that front line, tanking a load of damage here. It's the only reason this side of the line has been holding for so long. Oh, did he go? Oh, no, he's not. He was just, the level of detail hadn't loaded him in. But yeah, this guy, look at him. He's stuttering around. His suit's slowly failing on him, but he's still trying to stay alive and take the damage there. Man, I can't believe how many are actually still left over here. Let's have a look. So it does look like then that most of them did end up filtering their way towards that front line, slowly but surely. We've got a massive group of them over here still trying to make their way down. Kind of looks a bit like the Tesla logo, weirdly. But yeah, let's keep on going then. Come on, guys. 500 remaining. I think that's it. Yeah, look at that. A complete collapse just happened there. The XV8 suit's still alive. It is, somehow. He's holding on till the very last. If he outlives the Hammerhead tanks, that will be an extremely, extremely good feat. Because look at how many zombies he's actually holding back here. It's an insane amount, but yeah, look at the Fire Warrior group now just getting absolutely swarmed. They're taking such a beating. And so is this dude down here. I can just see the zombies around him swinging at his little legs. So it's all down to the Hammerheads to kill 3 million. Look, where are these coming from over here? Okay, so there is some weird little glitch. Why haven't they been doing this from the very start? That's really weird. So they did end up coming up this way, right, okay. That's weird how they didn't do this at all beforehand. But yeah, suddenly they have, oh no, the XV8 suit is now gone. And I think that is that, ladies and gentlemen. The Tau, 34 units remaining here on the field. I do think we can be wrapping this one up. My oh my. I need to go grab a drink or something because that was a little bit insane. Look at how many are left here. Oh my god. We're going to get a nice view of exploding all these chaps. So, Let's get nice down and level with them here. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you've had a blast. I know I have. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, until next time, peace.